So today I am going to talk about when I've lost weight in the past. I lost 30 pounds over the summer going into 6th to 7th grade. And so yeah, I did that in a period of about 3 months roughly. And I did it mostly by exercise. I did a lot of cardio. And I did like a lot of squats and I did a lot of crunches. And yeah, that's basically what I did. But I also ate dessert only once a week, Fridays, or no, it was Sundays, because we would go to Golden Corral and I would eat their like chocolate cream pie, and like that was it. I didn't really have cheat meals. I ate garlic and spicy things, and like I would eat like chicken but without the bread, or so grilled chicken. I mean, I tried to eat healthy, but I was still eating fairly unhealthy. I don't want to say that. I did have a fair amount of salads. I had a fair amount, like, I ate pretty healthy. My family eats very unhealthy, so they eat a lot of breads at that time, and so that's kind of what I did. But I stayed away from breads at that time. I still ate some, but I stayed away from most breads. So after I meet my goal weight this time, I feel like I'm going to add the cheat meal day back, because I feel like I can't add a cheat meal. Otherwise, I go completely off course. I guess I did do something. I did the weigh down diet, which involves, like, you just drink water. You can't, that's the only rule. That's the only diet rule, because they, like, the woman who wrote the book said, like, if you drink other drinks, the sugary drinks, anything, it'll mess with your system and you won't be able to read your hunger signals as well. So basically, the whole thing is very focused on, like, I guess now we would call it mindfulness, but back then she was just like, just pay attention to your hunger signals. I wasn't a hungry child, kind of obvious, but I wasn't a hungry child. It was kind of a revelation. You need to wait until you're hungry. And instead of, like, in our culture, we eat 3 meals a day, and like breakfast is the most important and all this other stuff. So I was like, what this lady is saying is making a lot of sense, because like after I started paying attention to how much I actually got hungry, I would eat like maybe 2 meals a day, 1 meal a day, and sometimes all 3. But just paying attention to when I was actually hungry. And so in a way you sort of fast, but it's not like you're really depriving yourself. And she also kind of advocated for eat what you crave. So, and she's like, it's not likely that you're gonna be craving like actual sweets. Don't go with like, I mean, go indulge a little bit. Eat what you want first in a meal. So like if your favorite part is the mashed potatoes, eat the mashed potatoes first, and that way, once you actually are full, it's easier for you to stop eating and to kind of put your plate aside, and kind of like cover up your plate if you're done and everybody else is still eating. Like, eat what you need. So I did that, and I also, it's very much like teaching you how to read what you're actually hungry for. So like, I would do a bunch of questions to myself, like, do I want something hot? Do I want something cold? Do I want something spicy? Do I want something bland? Do I want something sweet? Do I want, I would go through sweet and sour. Like, I'd go through a bunch of different questions, and because I was like, what is my body telling me it wants? And I was, sometimes I'd be surprised. One day I wanted a tomato, and I was like, I have never, ever set out to want a tomato. I didn't like tomatoes, but one day I was like, I want a tomato. And so I got a tomato and a chicken sandwich, and I was like, there we go. Got my tomato. Everybody just told me my whole life, oh, your medicine makes you hungry. Your medicine makes you hungry. And I don't find that to be true for me. I'm sure it probably does a little bit, but I don't think it's crazy. So, like, when I was doing that diet, wasn't crazy. I would eat, like, quite often 2 meals a day, then 1 meal, then 3 meals. 2 meals a day, 1 meal, and 3 meals. Because that's what I was kind of, like, hungry for. So, yeah, it was just kind of my cycle. 2 meals a day, 1 meal, 3. 2 meals a day, 1 meal, 3. And that was kind of like, if I kept that up, those were the times that I ate. So like breakfast, dinner, lunch, all 3 meals. Breakfast, dinner, lunch, all 3 meals. And that's kind of how I did it. But this time I want to stick with that because I think that at least is something I can stick to. And I think that I'll need to develop some kind of system for when I'm reach my goal weight to maintain. And I think that's something I'm gonna figure out, like, as I lose weight, because I don't think there's any other way to do that. It's like, oh, this is what works, this is what doesn't, let's do this. So to maintain my weight, I think I'm just gonna do that cheat meal, because I've seen other people lose the weight and they do cheat meals. And so I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to be really strict about it and give myself a lot of rules, because otherwise that will spiral, and I know myself, it will spiral. So it's most likely gonna be a Friday, a Saturday, or a Sunday, and if I have a person in my life, like a family member or a close friend that has a birthday, I might make that exception. And like certain holidays, not all the holidays. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. And I know this is probably a little long, but I hope it's insightful for maybe even me and maybe somebody else who has or is wanting to lose weight, because I have lost weight before. So I know it's not impossible. I just know that this time I need to develop a different strategy other than exercise like hell. And don't be dumb and get off the diet. Like, I was so excited after 3 months to like eat finally what I wanted again. I wanted to eat like everything I wanted. Had been denying myself for like a month, and then after that month it just kind of was like, I'll eat whatever, because I was maintaining and then I gained. So I think also for me it's a delayed response. So hopefully you got something out of it. If you're seeing these things over there, that's my dog's leashes. I have to go and pick him up. Bye.